Growing up, becoming an adult, for generations, the mission was clear. You go to school, you get good grades, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get your 4-year degree, you get out, you work 20 years, 30 years, retire, get that retirement, and you're chilling. But not in this day and age. So let's talk about it on this episode of Breaking Formation. If you haven't been here, welcome to Breaking Formation, a show where we talk about how, for young people and their parents, how to navigate in these changing times with AI, social media. I'm your co-host, Merryl Tengesdal, retired Air Force Colonel, and awesome individual. I'm here.
Yes, she is.
I'm here with Shea Phinney, another awesome person who is a child psychotherapist, therapist. Can I say friend now?
Yeah, we can do it. We crossed that line.
Cross the line.
Yay.
Yay. She doesn't scare me as much anymore. But
She sees my human side.
I do see your human side. But it's great to be here.
Yes.
So let's get into it real quick. The norm for most kids as they're growing up is really to do well in school, do the best that you could do, go to college, get that degree, and move on to the job that you want to do, that you've thought about. But it's not that, simple anymore. It's not clear cut. In the introduction of artificial intelligence, there are talks, especially with big companies, on how they're going to take over a lot of jobs. And there's a lot of discussion around that. And the landscape, the workforce, it's changing rapidly. Some things that were that needed the person, that required automation, is now being taken over by a robot or being done in a computer system. So how do kids become prepared, or how do they prepare themselves for this change? Because I know I'm dealing with that with my kids. I talk to them all the time, especially my son who's older. I tell him he wants to work in theater. He wants to be an actor. And maybe in 5 years, there's going to be a lot of AI generated movies, and they're doing it right now. And so I tell my son, be ready and be flexible, but I go a little deeper. But what do you tell your kids?
Oh, gosh, great question. Because I think you're right. I know for me, when I was going through high school, I knew exactly what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, was very, very clear in my mission. I did end up going to junior college before I went to a 4-year, because then I knew I was going to have to go on to my master's degree. So I knew I was going to be in school for quite a long minute. But I think really right now it's, one, identifying what kids' values and passions are. What is their what and what is their why, right? So helping them identify that, and then deciding, okay, what's in it for the long haul? Like, what am I in for, as I can continue to develop my what and my why.
Okay, so your what and your why. So I'll tell you a story
Please.
About my daughter. I don't know if I told you this, but I'll tell it for the audience. When she first came to us, because she came as a foster child, I was sitting with her one day in the living room, and we were watching Doc McStuffins.
Oh gosh, yes.
And I looked at her and I said, because I knew she was into animals, and she wanted to be a vet, or not. She didn't want to be a vet. She was into animals, and I looked at her and I said, hey, when you grow up, do you want to be like Doc McStuffin? And she goes, oh no, that's too hard. So being a kid or being an adult when I was a child, I was about 7 years old when I knew I wanted to be an astronaut and I wanted to fly and I wanted to boldly go. So to hear another child around the same age who said that that was too hard, I'm not gonna say it triggered me, but I was like, are you kidding me? You can do whatever you want.
Right.
It's gonna be hard. Like I was like, I got my motivation mode, and I said, you love animals. Why would you not be? And I think at that moment the light bulb went on for her, in terms of, I think I'll be a vet.
Yeah.
This is something possible for me. So, you know, she loved animals, and she didn't even think of like what I want to be, because it was too hard. And I think you're right. You know, you got to start as a parent to kind of throw the coals in the fire of kids' bellies to get them excited about something, because they may not think that it's possible for them. So, quick story.
Yeah, no, I love that story, because I think it is important as kids can be, or we can be, whoever and whatever we want. Yes, our job world is changing. I joke behind the scenes, like, and say, okay, the hustle is real nowadays. Is like, it really is really important. I was talking last night to one of my daughter's friends' parents, and she's a senior. The daughter, my blah, blah, blah. My daughter's best friend is a senior. She's getting ready to graduate, and I was talking to her parents last night at the football game. And we were talking, she had applied to, the mom said, at a minimum of 15 colleges. And the applications nowadays are about $1,000 a pop just to apply to schools. Yeah. And so, my daughter's best friend wants to be a doctor or like a neurosurgeon or I can't remember exactly what it is, but she's looking at 16 years of school, all said and done by the time she's got finished with her degrees and her licensures and is a full blown doctor, so to speak. And so the mom and I were talking about it, and it's like, that commitment level is huge, right? Like to be able to commit to something for 16 plus years as an 18-year-old, that this is something she's putting her heart and soul in. And so, yes, knowing what her why is and what her what is essential. And especially now for all kids.
So I love the why and what, but then my concern for your daughter's best friend is that as she's going through school to be a doctor, there may be advances in the future that may supersede the skills required for her, and may push her out of something that she's not even into yet. And I think that's my concern for my kids right now, is that they want something, 5-10 years down the road, and those jobs may not be available. So is school the best thing for them? And if it is, how do they keep up with those advances that are happening real time right now?
I think that's like the golden question, because it's like the ultimate pivot, right? Like,
Yes.
And so we were talking before we got started today, kind of offline. My daughter wants to be a teacher. And she's wanted to be a teacher since she was a little girl, and she is hell bent on being well, I shouldn't say that, but she is determined. How's that? That's better. Determined to be a teacher. And we've talked about how we talked about it in our last episode, is how the world of teaching, the school platform is changing.
Yes.
And so we've kind of just thrown back and forth, will the world still need teachers in 10, 15 years? And what will that look like? And then what's her pivot, right? Like if she starts on down this road, and then, all teachers are now AI robots or whatever, I don't know, who knows? Right. What's her pivot? Where is she going to go next?
So I think one of the key takeaways, because I do that with my son who wants to be an actor. What's the pivot? I say the same thing to my son who's younger, 5 years, I think about 5 years younger, 4 or 5. You want to be an actor. So if you get replaced, do you need to be a voice actor? Do you want to go in theater? If you if you want to act on movie screens, how do you produce? Do you learn coding so if there is AI generated that you understand how to do that and understand that acting world? So I tell him, if you're going to go to college, and it may not be required for him, if you're going to go, would you rather major in math or physics and then minor in theater and do this stuff on the side?
Right.
So for my daughter, if you're going to veterinarian school, there may be some changes. But do you, instead of going to veterinarian school, if that goes away, are you going to a tech school?
Right.
Are you going to a 2-year school? Or are you going to a trade school? Because trades are, trades are one of those things that are in large demand. We need our plumbers, our electricians. I mean, I'm taking welding classes. I'm a big advocate. Or I tell my son, do you want to do, if you go to a local college, do you want to pick up a trade and still do what you do, just in case you have a fallback plan? What's your primary, secondary, and tertiary plan?
Right. I love that. It's so, because really too, I mean, like I said, I kind of joked, but the hustle is real. Like, what are the fallbacks? What are the pivots? What are the things that are going to sustain you as our culture continues to evolve, you know? Like my son, he's in college right now. He's at a JC. He's changed his course of direction a few times since he's been there in the last 2.5 years. But he's not 2.5 years, 1.5 years. What the heck am I talking about? He's changed his course of direction in the last 1.5 years he was there, where he went in initially for ranch management. He wanted to manage big horse ranches and cow ranches and all of that stuff. Found that wasn't ideal for the longevity. So now he's working on communications, I think is his newest thing, and looking at, okay, how do I develop myself in this niche? And he wants to be a businessman and an entrepreneur, and not leave himself just so stuck in one type of business modality. So like with the ranch management, he was just limited to ranch management, but now he's able to branch out a little bit more.
So I think, I cannot be remiss to talk about like the junior colleges. If a lot of people, I think, that are going through school now are becoming maybe a little disillusioned when their job market is so small and they can't pivot, and now they have debt that's there. So what do they do? And I think for those young teens, young kids that are going in, you have to, if I were to plan this, have a primary plan, your love that you like, the secondary, what's the backup to that if AI takes away that job? What can you do in that field? And the third plan is, okay, what if it goes away completely? How do you work with your hands as you're figuring out a different direction to go into? Or what can you create? And so with that, man, I think that's awesome using the JC system, because one, junior colleges, you're not spending as much money.
You get the first 2 years free.
Pretty much.
No, you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First 2 years free at junior college.
I'm not getting the first 2 years free anyway.
Yeah, junior college, first 2 years free.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I have the GI Bill, so I'm paying for my classes because it's not my first rodeo.
Yeah.
Unintended.
Yeah. No, but yeah, you get your first 2 years free for junior college.
Oh, so if you're not taking that, unless you're trying to go to an Ivy League school, and you could still do an Ivy League school 3rd and 4th year.
Yeah.
Why are you not taking advantage of going to school for free in a place where you can store some money and have kind of a blanket and figure out what you want to do, especially if you're not sure? There is nothing wrong. I go to Sierra College.
Yeah.
They have great programs if you want to do nursing, welding, you want to work with mechatronics, if you want to do those things. So I'm a big fan of that.
And a lot of the JCs, like the JC that my son goes to, they do have a lot of certification programs. So like you can get your certification in sports medicine or rec and adventure or emergency wilderness response medicine. I mean, some really, really cool and unique programs out there that you may not see. And then if you're doing that through the JC, it's for free. So yeah.
I would take advantage of it in any way. And even if it's not free, I can only speak from, so I'm a foundation board member at Sierra College. And we work throughout the year to raise money for kids, sorry, I don't want to say kids, but young adults in need, or who we are raising money for endowment bed because there's on campus. So Sierra College it's like a destination. There are young adults who live on campus.
Oh, okay.
Who take full loads. I just talked to the young ladies of the golf team. They have great Division II, maybe Division III teams if you want to do that. So it's a great opportunity. It's not blowing out your pockets. And if you're not sure what you want to do and you're not sure what the future holds, it's just, you can build those certifications, you can have those things. It's a great option for those out there who are kind of unsure of what to do.
Yeah, and you get the basics done. I mean, I went to a JC, so for the first 2 years, I got my math and my English and all of that stuff, history out of the way. So once I got to my 4 year, I was able to focus completely on what it is that I wanted to focus on.
Do you know that if you start in a 2-year college, your odds of completing a 4-year college go up substantially?
Oh, I can imagine.
I don't know the exact numbers, and I'm not going to quote that there, but that is what it is. So and number one, if you struggle in high school, don't think college is out of your realm. You go to a junior college, some people are late bloomers. Don't count yourself out. And
so, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but the thing that's kind of cool now is like they have dual enrollment classes. So my daughter's taking 2 dual enrollment classes.
Yes.
So like her chemistry class counts for high school and college. And then I believe she's also taking an emergency medicine class that's at Sierra College. So there's some pretty neat things. And a lot of high school now are, if you say, I want to be a nurse, they'll put you in a nursing track. So they will line your classes up in high school so then you are primed and ready to go into a nursing program.
So I love it because it's different from what we went through. I mean, I did some AP courses and did stuff, but it would have been nice if there was, first of all, there's no aviation in the Bronx. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there isn't. Maybe I'll set that up when I'm 70. So there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of, you don't have to go the traditional track. As a young person today, I wouldn't be afraid of the future. I would look at this as an opportunity to be able to open up your aperture and do a lot of things that allow you to be very flexible and pivot in this environment.
Yeah.
And as you're listening, as for parents out there, try to get out of that traditional mindset. Try to work with your kids on trying to figure out the best path for them. Because that's what I do. I mean, it's just different. The grinding for 20 years, it's not sustainable. You're going to be broken. You might not have a job, and who knows what will happen. So I always think about that. Have you ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Oh, gosh, I read that in college. Huh?
In college? You read that in college? So remember, it was the guy who, and I don't remember the author's name, so forgive me, but he worked with his friend's dad who was the entrepreneur, and then his dad was the traditional work 20 years, and he balanced what the pay was. That was...
Oh, yeah.
Like the dad who got the retirement still was struggling while the entrepreneur who was building. Regardless if you go into a traditional field that's still not impacted by AI or something else, have that business and entrepreneur mindset and that creative mindset when you're doing it. And I think that is what's going to help you.
Yeah, for sure. I totally get it. And be able to, like we talked about earlier, pivot and get really super creative.
Yes.
Yep. Perfect.
I think that's awesome.
I think it is too.
All right, Shay, I think we beat this one up.
Yes, we did.
Hey, if there's any questions, drop it below. And while you're doing that, like and subscribe this podcast. That's all we have today in Breaking Formation. Until next time, be safe. Think about the future. Junior college.
Fly high. Well,
Fly high.
Fly high.
Yes.
Yes. Or not, or whatever. I don't know.
Take care.
Bye.